Hi, I'm David. I'm a retired autistic senior. I'm retired. I was forced to retire because of memory issues. Apparently, it's a disability if you can't remember your friends and family. I thought it was a blessing when I forgot them. When my doctor suggested a new drug that might restore my memories, I said no thanks. I'm fine with forgetting. That's when my doctor started to think I was a psychopath instead of autistic. He's probably right. A bit of both. I might be autistic like Musk, but I'm not a workaholic like him. I work the least amount possible for the maximum return. Some people call that lazy, I call it efficient. He actually works 120 hours a week. I perform 1 hour a week on stage. Who's smarter? Sure, he's saving the planet with his cars, rockets, and satellites, but I'll save your mind with comedy or mild entertainment. Instead of trying comedy, what I should do is take the pills and go back to my old career, computer programming. But then I'd be working 40 hours a week. Most of my pay would go to the government for back taxes, and my living situation wouldn't be any better. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention in the opener, memory issues, that I owe a shit ton of taxes. That's the official amount, shit ton. That's an actual measurement in Saskatchewan. How much grain you hauling today? A couple of shit tons. I'm not good at math, but I did math on my back taxes. Even if AI doesn't ruin the field of computer programming, it'd take 10 years or more to pay what I owe. It seems like a lot of work, and I can just write the world's funniest stand-up routine and pay off the full amount in one night. If you laugh. If you're not laughing, I'm fucked. Actually, I'm not fucked. I could declare bankruptcy and walk away from the debt. It'd ruin my credit rating, but that's not a problem because it's already zero, or it's negative, or I'm not sure what it is. I don't even know how credit ratings work. I'm 60 years old. I should have a basic understanding, but I don't. All I know is mine has to be the worst possible. I have no credit, so bankruptcy is not a threat to make me pay Revenue Canada. It's a valuable option. However, the only thing I like more than comedy is a good comeback story. When I give Trudeau and the government a check for all my back taxes, within a year of me standing on stage or one of these stupid videos taking off on YouTube, my life will change. It's a great fucking story. For me. And you, if you hate Trudeau, doesn't everyone hate him? If you dislike him, share this video or audio or whatever it is you're listening to. Get rid of Trudeau for whatever reason and help me pay back my back taxes through the power of social media and social change. End of story. So to pay back my taxes, either I work my ass off for 10 years, assuming the drugs work, or write comedy for 1 year or less, or I declare bankruptcy and tell them to fuck off. Which would you do? If I was pretty, I'd just find an old rich lady to marry and hope she dies soon. That sounds mean, but I'm autistic. I'm too honest according to the doctors. How the fucking honesty be a symptom of any mental condition or neurological disorder or whatever? Honesty is not the problem. Honesty should never be a symptom of anything. Seducing old ladies won't work. I really don't have the looks to be a gigolo. I cut my own hair. I wear clothes until they fall off my body. Plus, I look young. Too old for a 90-year-old woman to marry. I would look like her son. Good for her, but I'm lazy, but luckily autism makes me smart. It has nothing to do with the thousands of books I've read in my past life experiences. My intelligence is based on a condition nobody can prove. Change it to my intelligence is based on a neurological condition nobody can prove. This common idea will solve my failed love life as well. At least one biological female of legal age will listen to this and think, he's cute, or he's smart, or I'd fuck him. Look at all the millions Elon spends on his kids and wives, or whatever he calls the women he impregnates. I won't have to spend a cent. In case you can't tell, Grace, I'm reading this outside. Look at all the millions Elon spends on his kids and wives, or whatever he calls the women he impregnates. I won't have to spend a cent. They come to the show, they fall in love with me, I go home with them, eat their food, stay at their home until they kick me out, and then go back on stage to attract the next one. Lazy and brilliant. Or I get lucky, and the first night, I meet the love of my life. And live happily ever after. That's a pretty fucking good story, too. Or I bomb on stage, go on a bender, and end up living on the streets, injecting heroin the rest of my life. Whichever. Elon has the flash and the cash, but I doubt he's a good listener. I don't imagine him having long, deep conversations with his concubines unless it's about rockets. I, on the other hand, am functionally mute. I haven't had a conversation in years. I'm an excellent listener. I'll listen to your woman problems all night long. You talk, and I'll look for material in your life. Something I can use on stage to further my new career. Don't worry, I won't say anything like, your armpit is so long I could braid it. So to summarize, I'm disabled, autistic, broke, can't dress myself, a perfect catch. Disabled, so you know I won't go anywhere. Autistic, so you know I'm honest. I literally cannot lie, and everything I've said so far is 100% true. I'm broke, but I don't need much to live on. A few pizza pops and some beer. Plus, I'm funnier when I drink, not meaner like most men. I can't dress myself, but I don't care what I wear. Buy me whatever you think I'll look good in, and I'll wear it. Unless it looks gay. Contrary to what I've said so far, I'm not an idiot. I did the math, my current attractiveness. The only way my looks are attractive to a woman is through comedy. Put all this information in Tinder, and even if I look like Brad Pitt, I wouldn't get a match. I'm not lazy. Comedy is just a better way. Actually, call me lazy. Call me a fool. The more ridiculous the story becomes, the greater the chance for success. I'm lazy, but I'm lucky. Plus, Google wives of famous comedians, and you'll see a list of old white dudes with a variety of hot young wives. If you're vain like me, comedy is the way to go. Or, desperate, and your last chance of love and happiness before throwing yourself off a bridge. I was forced to live on government disability due to memory issues. Did I mention I can't remember shit about the past? Same government that pays me monthly, then complains and asks me to pay back my back taxes. Make up your mind, CRA. I knew it'd be nearly impossible to find a place in Vancouver. Then, like a miracle, I found a room to rent in a house full of international students. I lied and said I was a student, but to be fair, I was planning on returning to school, if I could. And I would have, if again, it wasn't for the government. Fuck Trudeau. It's probably not him directly, but it's easier to use him as a pawn in my cause. Fair, I know nothing about him or his politics. If it helps me pay back my taxes, I don't care. I'll pretend to hate him like everyone else. They, the government, wouldn't pay for re-educating me after they declared me disabled. But they still want their back taxes. Cunts. Anyway, back to my living situation. Currently on my floor, I share a kitchen and 2 washrooms with 3 female students in their 20s. I'm lucky because all of them remind me of my daughter, both in age and race. Also, I treat them like my daughter. I only talk to them when needed. I say hi to them when I run into one in the hallway, but there's no long conversations. Everyone seems to mind their own business. Sometimes I hear them talking and laughing in the kitchen, but I don't join in the conversation. Again, like when a teenage daughter has friends over to visit, you have to stick around the house so they don't bring over teenage boys, but otherwise you try and give them some privacy. And in this case, I guess, university-age boys? Or young men, I guess? If my 20-something roommates started bringing teenage boys home, I'm not sure what I'd do. It wouldn't be illegal. It would be odd, but not illegal. So I'd probably watch the teenage boys leave the house with a massive smile on their face. My housemates are all pretty, but again, like my daughter's past and present friends, I try not to notice. The only thing I do notice and don't like is the long black hair in the bathrooms. On their head it's pretty, but plastered on the walls and floor of the shower it's not. The drain is disgusting. I've learned not to look at my feet while I shower. I tried shoving it down the drain with my big toe in the past, but I've given up now. I always gag. I'm glad I only had 1 daughter. 3 would have been a hair nightmare. To be fair, that's not completely true. 1 daughter and an Asian mother was a hair nightmare. In my current situation, one of the 2 showers gets pretty bad, but the one I use has been good for months. The girl that uses it doesn't seem to shed too much, and I can wash it down the drain before heaving. I feel sorry for the landlord when that pipe backs up. Well, he could probably save the hair and donate it to cancer victims. I hope they wash it first. I pee in that shower. I'm not going to say my housemates' names for 2 reasons. 1, to protect their privacy when this comedy gold crushes somewhere. 2, because I can't pronounce any of their names, first or last. I can spell them. I see their mail on the kitchen table, but I can't pronounce. They've all introduced themselves to me, but the names are too difficult for my mouth to repeat, or my brain to remember. Instead, I have nicknames that I use in my head. The smoker, the nurse, and this one sounds bad, but Petri dish, which is close to how her name is spelled, so I think it fits. Not about her cleanliness habits. In fact, Petri dish is the one who sheds the least. The smoker scares me, not on purpose. We both walk quietly, and too many times I'm either leaving the house for a smoke or she's coming in after one, and we accidentally scare each other coming around a corner. We both laugh, but I'm not sure why. I'm not sure my heart can take too many more surprises. The nurse is the friendliest. I broke my hand last year, and she's the only one who asked me how. The other 2 didn't care, or yes, she probably told them. She asked if I needed help with anything, but the only problem I was having was wiping my ass and showering. However, I remembered my golden rule, and if I wouldn't ask my daughter for the same help, I shouldn't ask her. Not that I would have, regardless of the daughter golden rule. I'm autistic, not a gross asshole. I figured it out myself. I just didn't wash for 2 weeks. What's the big deal? I do have a backup plan for back taxes if this so-called comedy fails. Counter-terrorism. I'll explain. At least one of my other housemates, not the ones that live on my floor, but at least one of the other so-called students, is probably a spy for their home country. My plan is to catch them and collect a reward so large it pays my back taxes and sets me up with a nest egg for the rest of my life. I can always tell when new students move in, the Wi-Fi sucks for a few days. I think they're all watching porn banned in their home countries. Then they get it out of their system and the Wi-Fi goes back to normal. I have no proof. This is a simple deduction, as I noticed the Pornhub homepage looks all different at the beginning of the month, like someone new is influencing the house feed. Teach their own. I'm not into BBW, but someone from another country sure is interested. Now, if the entire feed was old white guys hooking up with international students, and I knew I wasn't the one searching for that, it'd be a different story. It's not. Trust me. I check the page once a day, just to be sure. And no, I don't search for international students or DILF to artificially manipulate the feed and implant subliminal messages into my housemate's mind when they go to the main page and see nothing but porn with a guy that looks like me, assuming they watch porn in the first place. That sounds psychotic. Only a psycho would manipulate an IP address that way. I'm not interested in my young, pretty housemates. You'll find out why shortly. And no, I'm not gay. To be fair, it's not just porn. Everyone in the house got a notice about someone downloading GTA 5 from BitTorrents. I have respect for the game, but there are better ways to steal software than torrents. Maybe I should give my housemates a lesson in VPNs. Sign up for ExpressVPN. Use promotional code KillTony. I love irony. Now that I'm 60, I'm surrounded by significantly more 20-something girls than I ever was in my 20s. Back then, in the 1980s, if you didn't work with them or go to secondary school, they didn't seem to exist. Bars were the only place to meet a potential partner. And although I'm funny drunk, eventually I'd have to sober up and be myself. Now I live with 3. In addition, I can go to any coffee shop during the day, and again, every barista is 20-something, hot, and exotic looking. Where the fuck's was Starbucks in the 1980s? I would have either gotten a job there and hit on all of them, or spent my paychecks watching them work and trying to worm my way into their existence by sitting there daily pretending to work and looking cute. Or like a pathetic puppy. Whichever would cause them to take me home or scratch my belly. I'm easy. Instead, now I just look like a perverted old man living with students and drooling over any barista that is nice to me. It's hard not to look like a pervert if you are old and alone. I try and go to the park and write, but it's noisy. Fucking kids. At least I don't look like a pervert there. I stay on the other side of the park, sitting on a bench tucked between a couple of trees, with a telephoto lens in my gym bag. Just kidding. The Samsung 24 is a great zoom. No long lens needed. I unfortunately can't lie. I have a Samsung 7. Technically I have 2, so it's like a 14 if I glue them together. That's an autism joke, in case you haven't figured that out yet. I do go to the park quite a bit in the summer to watch the kids. Not preferred it because I avoid the end of the park with the waiting pool and the playground. It's nothing but kids falling off monkey bars. They're screaming at the top of their lungs like it's the first time they've touched water. I hang out by the ball diamonds where parents picnic and let their kids run free like dogs. I like watching the kids push themselves, chasing a soccer ball until they fall face first in the grass. Then I laugh. I need to stop making jokes about kids, no matter what. After 5, it sounds perverted. I'll go back to jokes about my pretty international housemates and how they have pillow fights every night while scantily clad because the air conditioner is broken. Again. I wish. That last statement isn't true. I don't live in the Playboy Mansion. In fact, I like it cold, not hot in the house. And they don't wear anything scantily. They wear sweaters and sweats. Boring. See, I can't lie. The following stereotype is true, though. People from other countries cook weird shit. I don't mind. I can't smell. My nostrils are blown out from years of coke. Not true. Adderall, yes. Cocaine, no. But not snorting it. Snorting Adderall doesn't make it stronger. So I've been told. Either way, their food choices make the recycling bin way more interesting to check out. I do have a complaint about one of them, though. I'm not sure which one. Too shy to say anything about it, and now I find it kind of funny. Like when the smoker scares the crap out of me. The recycling bin is near the door to my room. I, and two of the girls, gently place articles in the bin, while the final girl thinks she's in the WNBA, attempting a three-pointer at the buzzer. Two throws I can from 10 feet away. And rebounds it off my wall like a blackboard. And I can't even figure out which of the three does it, because it normally happens during my afternoon nap, and I'm too lazy to get up and say something. If I accidentally catch her in the act one day, I'll find something funny or sarcastic to say to get my point across, just like I used to with my daughter. Trust me, the daughter golden rule is all you need to manage or attract women, especially if you are lazy. Now on to the racist jokes. Some of you may have heard about a Trump rally where comedian Tony Hinchcliffe told a great joke about Puerto Rico, and the mainstream press had a conniption fit. The outrage drove his popularity even higher. Maybe it'll work for me. Remember my dream? To pay back my back taxes by being a comedian? One set to change a lifetime? Mine? There's two if you think this shit is funny. Not just desperate and pathetic. I can't be a complete racist. I don't know what countries my housemates are from, but I would say anywhere from any part of Asia. A few are from one of the other brown areas of the world. Is that racist enough? I mean, there are 3 rice cookers on the counter. Can't they share one big one? A Canadian symbolic melting pot, so to speak? Maybe after I pay off my taxes, I'll supply the house with one big-ass rice cooker. And unlimited rice. On one condition. No rice maggots. What are rice maggots? I'm glad you asked. This is primarily a condition that affects white people, or people like me. Weird. Rice maggots are grains of cooked or uncooked rice found on the floor or in the sink, or any place you'd rather not see a maggot. Because for a split second, when my brain sees a random grain of rice on the ground, it says maggot to me. Then I remember the odds of maggots being on my floor are much lower than rice, and I clue myself in. I won't be a Nazi about it. Here's free rice, but please keep the rice maggots under control. Is Nazi racist? I really need to get canceled before I even start doing stand-up. There's no fucking way I'll remember this set. I don't even want to say it again. I wish one of my housemates was Puerto Rican, but would they be international? What is Puerto Rico? It's not a state, but it's American. American isn't international enough for me, especially if you're from a territory. Hell, I barely respect Alaska as a state. It was because the Canadians were dumb as fuck for not outbidding the USA in that deal of a lifetime. The whole territory concept is a second thought. Make Puerto Rico a state, or cut it free and let it float away, like a big fat garbage patch. See, I knew Tony was right to make that joke. It feels great to call things garbage patches. My hair is a garbage patch. My wardrobe is a garbage patch. I'm a fucking garbage patch person. Hi, I'm David. I'm a retired autistic garbage patch senior with a plan to change my life through comedy and making fun of everything and everyone in my life, now and forever. I call myself autistic, a retired autistic senior, but really I'm the retired autistic senior. It's not like there's a group of us, a club that meets monthly. I don't know any retired people, and I don't know any autistic seniors. Maybe I just want to be unique. When I got diagnosed with autism, I disagreed. I wrote a 200-page summary as to why the doctors were wrong. I don't think I'm autistic. I think I'm either lazy or stupid, or both, or I'm a fucking genius. In my current living situation, I'm surrounded by 3 20-something hot female international students, yet I fall for hot 20-something barista. And I'm so dumb. I'm too shy to talk to the barista. I'm too shy to practice with my housemates. It's not autism, that's just stupidity. On the other hand, since I've had the same 3 roommates for almost a year now, it'd be creepy as fuck if all of a sudden I started to pretend to hit on them for practice. And it's even creepier to tell them this story and ask for help. Again, if I wouldn't ask my daughter. I don't know if one comedy set can change the world, but it sure could change this man's world. If the set goes viral, everything changes. If it doesn't, I just wake up the next day, do it all over again. I'll keep posting the same fucking set until something happens, every single day. Or until it drives everyone fucking nuts. The only benefit of having a shitty memory. That is the only benefit of having a shitty memory. I can't remember how bad I did the day before. Perfect for a comedian. Especially since I refuse to listen to any of my past recordings. I think no memory is absolutely the best obstacle I could have in becoming the world's greatest comedian. If you want to be good, forget about the past day and your past life. My life is like 50 first dates, but without the love and happiness. Anyway, back to my living situation. I doubt any of my housemates see me as a father figure. Probably just some weirdo who eats pizza pops 5 times a week. I'm sure they see my recycling bin contributions. The only thing I know, based on the recycling bin, is when it's quote-unquote that time of the month. Yes, all 3 of them are synced up in their monthly cycle. I don't know how they did it, but they all seem to get a check from their parents in the same week of the month. And then during that week, the recycling bin goes from ramen packages to takeout containers. Which, to be fair, is the same for me when I get my old age security check. I go from pizza pops to takeout, 7-Eleven pizza, or chicken wings. Living the life while retired. I don't set a very good example parenting or a positive Canadian example for the students. I sleep in until noon. It's lucky if I have a shower before 3. Then I'm out from 4 to midnight. I come back smelling like cigarettes and beer. Or cigarettes and coffee. It's more of an erratic and strange uncle behavior. I might be an uncle. I can't remember. Memory issues. I don't set a good example for anyone. Plus, I've done a shitty job in the story of explaining the barista. I guess I have 5 20-something girls in my life. My daughter, my 3 housemates, and the barista I have a crush on. I call her the barista because I also don't know her name. Well, her last name. I know her first name, but I'm too shy to say it on stage. Like it's bad luck, and she'll never appear again if I do. I doubt I'll ever be with the barista, but it's a good story. The concept got me out of a depressing thought, being alone the rest of my life, and never getting laid. I'll explain. I'm 60 years old, but I'm not dead. Little Dave works just fine. In fact, we plan on having children again, if the barista plays along, or any woman of childbearing age. The barista's probably half my age. I know nothing about her, other than her looks and interactions with customers and co-workers. Half my age is odd, but not as bad as half my height. That would be odd if she's waist high but equally proportioned. However, if she's twice my height, I'd be okay with that. 6 with a giant would be interesting for me. I'd give it a go. Probably be boring for her, or pedophilish. I'm also twice as ugly as her, although that comparison doesn't really work if she's not ugly, and she's not. So I'll say her beauty is twice my ugliness. She's the world's smartest person, or at least twice as smart as I am, or my autism. is, depending on how you look at smartness. Why do I know she's this smart? I'll explain. Before I developed an undeniable and never-ending crush on the barista, I used her. I used her as a character in a script. A smart woman, pretty but out of place. I noticed one day that she remembered my coffee selection. It wasn't difficult, but she basically read it out to me before I tried to order. From that moment forward, she often, not always, started my coffee order for me as I walked into Starbucks, if I caught her eye. If I was in line, it would be ready and waiting for me by the time I made it to the cashier. And although she was acting like the app, as if I had ordered online, I didn't mistake this as her having an interest in me. I simply saw her as a potential character for one of my scripts, not a possible love interest. So I kept track. I sat close to the till, and anytime she remembered someone's order, I made a note in my notebook with a description of the person. I was nearing 100 orders that she knew off by heart when the one that broke the camel's back, so to speak, came through the door. Actually, before that, and before I would call her my crush, I did think to myself, somebody that can remember that many orders surely can remember to submit my taxes every year. Wouldn't that be a perfect wife? Anyway, the character in my notebook and the real barista were nearing 100 memorized orders when a gaggle of women came in one day. It wasn't busy, the cashier was in the bathroom, and the barista was making drive-thru order. Then, the barista noticed the cashier was taking some time to return and asked one of the ladies, "Should I start your usual order?" And then she repeated a long, convoluted coffee order back to the lady. Shocked, the lady said yes, and then turned to her friends and exclaimed, "I guess I have a usual." Overhearing the lady, the barista added, "I remember. Normally you come in with your students. They all talk about you being a great teacher." The teacher replied, "My students?" To which the barista replied, "Yes, your students." And then something snapped in my head, and the crush turned into lust, pure evil sexual attraction, and I knew I would do whatever it takes to bed this so-called barista. Or, I wonder if she just lied to that lady, just to make her day, and why. So, I sent her manager a complimentary email about her excellent customer service and kindness, and then I ghosted her. I never went back to that Starbucks, even though it was the perfect distance from my house and had the most comfortable seats. And I haven't seen her for a year, but I spent the entire time expanding the character into the perfect theoretical wife, while simultaneously working on becoming a stand-up comedian, so I can walk back into that Starbucks and not feel like a complete loser when I ask her out. I didn't really ghost her since we never talked, but the term seems fitting. And no, I didn't stalk her all this time, if you were wondering. Sorry, correction, I've never stalked her. Not in person, not online, not with a drone, not with AI voice recognition, not by hiring an artist to draw a sketch of her, nothing. Well, a memory or two. If you've laughed so far, I'm well on my way to making this the world's greatest routine, or whatever it is, and not solving only my financial issues with the fucking Trudeau government, but my love life as well. Sure, if you hate Trudeau. Or you didn't laugh. I get it. You hate my love story, but you love Trudeau. Sad. Hate Trudeau and share this instead. Make the government pay for what they did to the truckers. And anything else that pisses you off, and we encourage you to share. I've been there. Maybe the rest of this romantic comedy isn't for you. It's clear I've given up on making this a routine. I don't care if I'll be forced to read this on stage from a book, because I can never memorize half this shit, funny to me or not. On the other hand, if I was Elon, I'd just walk up to the barista and awkwardly say, "Hey, I'm Elon Musk. I'm rich, successful, and make beautiful, intelligent babies. Unfortunately, I'm busy saving the world. So, you be the primary caregiver, but you and the kids It'll be set for life. So even if all my businesses fail, interested. And then he'd get a yes or a no and walk away. Hell, if I could get pregnant, I'd give him a yes. I'm not that lucky. I have to prove my love to the barista by writing silly comedy stories and standing on stage embarrassing myself until I'm one of those successful comedians. And then I'll have to return to that Starbucks again, pray she still works there, and risk embarrassing myself if I find out she's still there, but is now married. That would suck. Although married or boyfriend, I'd wait it out. If married until they have kids, then I'd give up. The boyfriend is different, fair game if there's no ring on the finger. In that case, I just make sure one of my videos or a few 100,000 words of mine found a way into her phone. I just have to be funnier than the boyfriend, and since I'm the world's greatest comedian, it's a shoo-in. I'm clearly delusional. I really should just go back and see if she's working tomorrow, and if she is, I'll just sit outside all day reading this routine to myself or anyone who will listen, or until someone calls the cops. Both will probably happen on the same day. The first day someone hears this type of humor in public, it may butthurt them. Now you know why I don't hit on my housemates. I spend all day writing about the perfect wife. It would feel like cheating on the character. Sorry, I mean the barista, who is a character and a person. They just haven't met each other yet. It gets confusing, which is why it was just easier to ghost her location. And she's hot, so there must be a boyfriend or girlfriend anyways. I wouldn't have a chance. So this story is really more of a writing exercise at this point than a crush or love. Or not. Who the fuck knows? Back to my living situation, and hopefully some more jokes or anything funnier than me being a desperate loser with a crazy plan to seduce the barista through comedy. I don't hear anything outside my housemate's room except for laughter or a loud movie. I assume the noise leaving my room is the same for them when I watch a movie or cry myself to sleep or fart. I'm kidding, of course. I don't cry myself to sleep. I pass out. That's a lie. I'm a 60-year-old man. 60-year-old men don't cry. We build up all of our pent-up frustration and take it out in anger, just like every man, regardless of age. But we fart a lot, and loudly, or I guess proudly. I pay $666 a month rent, the perfect amount to charge the devil. It didn't start out that amount, it was $600, but with the minimum increases applied yearly, it's now $666. I don't mind. Every month I pretend I'm the devil and it's blood money. I have an overactive imagination. Why else would I try and seduce a stranger half my age with only comedy? Without even talking to her. Either I'm nuts or I'm brilliant. DSM-5 says I'm nuts. I say comedic genius. My room is pretty noisy when the window's open. Closed, it's fine, but the room gets stuffy. Remember, farts. Open at night is alright. Earplugs take care of the noise. But during the day, I'm screwed. It's too noisy. Which is what forced me into the arms of my barista in the first place. A quiet place to write, and only a short walk away. On a less love story note, basically the only time I can write from home in a relaxed environment is if someone dies. Let me explain before you call the cops. I live beside a transit station. Trains come and go every 2 to 5 minutes throughout the day. And I'm beside the on-off ramp to the busy bridge. The only time I get a break is if someone throws himself in front of a train or off the bridge. Then for an hour or so, the trains stop while they clean up the mess. Or the bridge traffic stops as they try and talk the person down from the ledge. Either way, I get a decent break from the noise. I know what you're thinking, and I agree, suicide is a bad thing, even though it is legal in Canada. I'm not in any way suggesting more people kill themselves. I'd rather have everyone alive and well. But if they're going to do it anyway, and nobody's going to stop them, why not use the bridge close to my house? And then, like in San Francisco, they could put up some nets or something to catch them, or whatever they have done there. They'll still fuck up the traffic for a while, giving me a noise break, and eventually it'll lower the number of suicides when people know they'll get help at my bridge. Brilliant plan, yes? Not psychopathic at all. Sure, maybe a bit selfish and autistic, but according to the DSM-5, that is who I am, and I cannot change my personality, ever. I'm not sure what to do about the train suicides, but I'm working on it. They're a lot messier to clean up than a body floating in the river. Maybe they could just slow the fucking train down a bit before it arrives at the station. Less noise for me when they're arriving slowly, and if someone jumps in front, they'll just get shoved down the track a bit, or bumped over, not hurt. Unless they electrocute themselves, then they are fucked. Nothing I can do about electricity. Snow works as well too. Enough it will close the road and the station, but this is Vancouver, and snow is rare. If that humor's too dark for you, I don't care. Hi, I'm David. I'm a retired autistic senior. If you've enjoyed this 100% true and verifiable story, please donate $1 million to the charity of your choice and send me a $50 Domino's gift card, or any Canadian pizza place, or any pizza place in Vancouver, near transit station. Meow.